As a new year dawns, the world's focus remains riveted on tensions in the Middle East and major conflicts in Afghanistan and Pakistan. But in East Asia, the year promises to be dominated by tensions of another sort, as China struggles to emerge from the export crisis of 2009.
The Chinese export markets dried up. Not completely, but they certainly had a big decrease in the U.S. market and the European market. And while the Chinese are going to cautiously try to rebuild or regain shares in those economies, they're also going to shift their attention to Southeast Asia and other parts of the developing world to try to create new markets.
Welcome to Dispatch. I'm Marla Dial. Though the global economy won't continue to be the chief driver of geopolitical events in 2010, it will remain a core concern for the major exporting economies of East Asia. That's particularly true for China, the giant of the region, where social and political stability are closely tied to continuing economic growth. No serious challenges to China's dominance are expected this year, but business moves by Beijing and others in the region and elsewhere likely will fuel political tensions and rivalries.
China's going to be stepping up again its efforts in Southeast Asia in particular to protect its energy routes and to increase trade, find new markets for trade, and at the same time trying to reinforce its political influence there as it perceives the United States, India, and even Japan trying to step back into the region. We would expect to see a return to some of the military tensions we've seen in the South China Sea as the Chinese again go back to staking their claim on that territory. We've seen the United States re-engage with the ASEAN countries, and the Chinese perceive that as a direct threat to China, an attempt by the United States to encircle China.
Tensions between Beijing and Washington will linger, though they'll remain at manageable levels.
One of the issues with the United States is obviously going to be economic. The U.S. is heading into an election. The Chinese are coming out of their economic problems, and we expect to see a fair amount of trade friction. On the other hand, the Chinese are still going to be working very cautiously with the United States as the U.S. continues to be engaged in places like Iran and Afghanistan. The Chinese don't want to get too far on the bad side of the United States.